common question we get is, can I cut down or trim some of my evergreens that have gotten too big, especially around the house or maybe even in the garden? The answer is probably not if they're around the house. In some cases, a common plant that they use around the house is either Hinoki cypress, arborvitae, dwarf Alberta spruce. And to tell if you can prune these or not, there's just, sort of a general guideline, not foolproof, but close. So I'm just going to show you an example here of a branch. Plants that you might want to avoid trimming or trimming hard are going to be plants that show very little growth inside the canopy. So even when you pull down these branches and you look inside, I see almost no green or very little green in the way of new shoots. If you were to see a lot of green shoots up and down the stem, that might be an indication that yes, you can still prune it back to where it's still green. The general guideline is you can go back 3 years if you don't know. So 3 years is only about maybe 5 inches, and you can tell even going here 3 years, there's no growth. So this plant may not regrow. So what you're going to end up with is when you're done pruning it, you're just going to end up with a lot of stubs. So what you don't want is something that looks like this, because honestly, you're going to have to live with it. On this beautiful yellow, bright yellow Chamaecyparis, you can see lots of growth sort of around the outer edge. When you peel back some of the edge and look inside, there's very few shoots or very little green growing on the inside. So right away, this should be a sign to you that you might want to prune this, but in a cautionary way. If you look here, there's very little growth inside, and what you don't want to end up with is little stubs. And you can find those. I pruned this out earlier, and maybe 3 years ago, this branch was pruned here, and as you can see, there is no growth. There never will be growth. So it's really important that you pay attention to the way your plants grow. If they're really vigorous and full, that's an indication it can take a little more whacking back. Now, for those of you who do like to work in a garden and are looking for something to do, I've not forgotten about you. This is one of my favorite. It's a rather large growing juniper. It's Juniper hetzi, or the hetzi juniper, and it is one you can cut back pretty hard. So compared to the others, if you look at this, look at all the shoots up and down the stem. So you can cut this way back in here, 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 or here to get your workout for the day. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.